Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are ranking the Paladin legendaries up to the Scholarman's Academy expansion for Hearthstone. But first, hey, future me. Yeah, there with the whipped cream can. Yeah, fat ass, I'm talking to you. How about you edit in some, like, little bits so that it's more entertaining to watch?
No, I don't think I will.
Alright, now that that's out of the way, we can get into it. So first here we have making mummies, play 5 reborn minions, and your reward is Emperor Wraps. You summon a 2/2 copy of a minion. Well, I've tried to make this work in Bubble Paladin. It only really sees play in OTK Paladin, which is an okay deck, especially now with way more zero-cost spells. So we can put it in B tier, just for that reason. Starting up, already got a banger, the last Kaleidosaur. You have to cast 6 spells on your minions, and your reward is Galvadon, the last Kaleidosaur. Now, if it were just me, S. But unfortunately, people get mad at people's opinions. So we put it where people would say, it belongs, and we'll put it in D. We're not putting him in F. No, none of that, thanks.
Nope, none of that, thank you.
Alright, so up next we got Divine, Shield, Lifesteal, Crystal Smith, Congor. Your healing is doubled. This is C tier. It itself is a 2-mana 1/2, which is pretty mediocre. Well, it's bad in stats, but the effect of Divine Shield and Lifesteal is nice, and then all your healing is doubled. So, if you're really low on health, you might be able to pull off like Crystal Smith Congor and Libram of Hope to get 16 healing. That's just not that important. Now moving on to a card that has never seen play ever in Wild, except for this one weird game. We have Sir Finley of the Sands. Battlecry, if your deck has no duplicates, discover an upgraded hero power. If you get this on 2, this is comparable to Razon 5. Now I actually think that every class has a card where if you're running a specific deck, it's like playing Razon 5.
You're a fucking idiot.
And that would be Sir Finley on 2. Sir Finley on 2 feels so good always. Any other time, in the mid-game, he can feel bad to play depending on what hero power you get. But most of the time you're pretty happy when you pull him, unless it's like in the bottom 5 cards of your deck. But we're rating the cards, right, not the decks. So we'll put Sir Finley himself in the B tier. Alright, next up we got the 2-mana 2/1 Divine Shield, McGurgle. With Death Rattle, shuffle McGurgle Prime into your deck. McGurgle Prime is summon summon 4 Murlocs, give them Divine Shield. Random Murlocs, obviously. He himself has Divine Shield and is a 6/3. This is pretty much an auto-include in just about every Paladin deck, so we're gonna put him up there. Obviously, he's not that good in OTK Paladin, but again, that deck is very niche anyway. Yeah, actually saying that OTK Paladin is pretty niche, we'll actually go ahead and drop the quest down to see. Alright, we got Mr. Gadgetzan Legendary, Divine Shield, Taunt, and Lifesteal, 3-mana 2/2. The idea, of course, with all the legendaries in Gadgetzan, was to buff it in your hand, or at least for Hunter, Warrior, and Paladin. Well, not with Warrior. That legendary was garbage. But see, again, maybe you could fit him into like a Reno Paladin or something. When you're rocking like the Valinar, the weapon, to get him more healing. But just like that, he's just not that good. So we're gonna throw him down into D tier. Alright, so we got Lord Baroth, the legendary minion for Warrior and Paladin. Battlecry, set all other minions' health to 1. Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all minions. So this pretty much is a 3-mana, get a 3/2, and cast Equality, which is a 4-mana spell. Now, the reason this is so much better in Warrior is because Warrior just has so many other ways. Like, they can either take out Bear off with something like Sword and Board, or use something like a Whirlwind to then kill all the minions. The issue in Paladin is the only board clear they really have is Constellation, which then you want to be pairing up with your Libram of Hope. Or not Hope, but Justice. So you could use him as like a third Libram of Justice, but I don't really think Paladin needs that. So for that reason, for Paladin, we're going to put him in C tier. Oh boy, the archetype that they never really cared a lot about. Dragon Paladin.
Now this is dragon riding!
With this boy, 3 mana, 3/3, Death Rattle, give a dragon in your hand, 3 health, 3 attack, and gain the Death Rattle of give another dragon 3/3. So you're just building up the dragons this whole game. However, if you don't have another dragon in your hand, it's gone. And he's also just F. For sure. Okay, we got Mr. Boy here, the High Priest. Do you think you can take him? Probably not. Because if they high roll this on 3 and have Molten Giants in hand, then you're done. So again, just another great card on curve, so we'll go ahead and put it in B tier. Alright, it's the Commander. Your secrets trigger twice. This sees good play in Odd Paladin. But Odd Paladin I haven't been seeing a lot of. I don't think that it's a bad deck necessarily, but this legendary in it can be useful for things like, I don't know, what's that one secret called? The one that when it starts your turn it gives all minions 1 of 1, that would then give them all 2 of 2. That one, also Never Surrender. Probably not Eye for an Eye. I don't even know if they run that actually. Anyway though, he can go at the top of C for Commander, where he belongs. Alright, so now we have the Glass Knight. Divine Shield, whenever you restore health, gain Divine Shield. Why the hell would they make a legendary around gaining health itself? Because, while Paladin has a good amount of healing, they've never had, like, priest levels of healing. This would have been way better as a priest legendary, but it just isn't. So for Paladin, it's gonna go in C tier. No, it's below Lord Barrow for sure. Alright, the 4 mana 8/8, that's 1/1 better than a 4 mana 7/7 with Overload 2. But this guy has an even greater downside. Battlecry, set both players to 10 mana crystals. Like most effects that give your opponent a boost first, this is not that good. Now, there is times where you play this on 4 and are completely happy with it, because your opponent doesn't have that many cards, so they can't really do anything. So, it's for that reason, he's not deep. We'll put him in C. We'll put him above Congor at least. Alright, High Abyss Allura. Spell Burst. Cast a spell from your deck. Targets this minion if possible. This is A tier. This is above McGurgle. Now, you play this in maybe a Pure Paladin or a Libram Paladin. Probably not OTK, but you could. But probably not. Now, this is insane simply because of all of the spells that you can get. You cast Libram of Hope on 4 or 5. That's insane. You cast Hand of a Doll, you draw an extra card. You know, Potion of Heroism, extra card. Christology, you draw extra. And Paladin fucking sucks at drawing cards. So, High Abyss Allura is just a genuinely great card. Alright, so next up we got Boulevard for Dragon. Whenever a friendly minion dies while this is in your hand, gain 1 attack. He's a 1 mana 1/7 that costs 5 mana. Now, like most cards that stack in your hand, without, like, hand buffs, like, you know, something like Blood Herald or something, this sucks. This is garbage. You just are never really looking for that kind of value, and if you don't draw him, you either need to keep a 5-drop in your opening hand that you don't plan on playing for a pretty good amount of time, or you draw him way too late and he's just worthless. So sorry, Bolvar, but you're F. Hey, at least think of it like F is the first letter of your last name. Okay, so we got Prince Liam, battlecry. Transform all 1-cost cards in your hand, or in your deck, into random legendary minions. This is just for memes. So we'll put it in D, because you could really luck out with those legendaries. Again, just don't run this card unless you're down for memes. Alright, now we got the other Bolvar, Bolvar Fireblood, with Divine Shield. After our friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain +2 attack. Now, unlike Bolvar 4 Dragon, playing this on 5 can be really good. Because nowadays, you can play taunts with Divine Shield. You can give your taunts Divine Shield. And then it makes this guy really hard to kill, so they either have to waste a silence, because most of the time this guy isn't worth silencing, but if you get lucky you can make him worth silencing. Then they either have to waste a silence, or break through like 4 taunts and Divine Shields, then break through his Divine Shield, which is using a lot of resources. So it's for that reason, we'll put him at the top of D. Now, like, he's bad, but, like, I like him. Just like the last Kaleidosaur. I need a Bolvar riding Galvadon. That's what I need. Alright, so onto the Journey to Congor. We got Sunkeeper Tyrion. Taunt, he's a 3/9. And Battlecry, set all other minions' health and attack to 3. It is here, we have our S tier Paladin card. So first of all, this sees play an even Paladin, but also just Libram Paladin, where you're constantly using your hero power anyway. So not only is this going to degrade or lower the attack and health most of the time of all enemy minions, but it's also going to give yours buffs. Especially if you have, like, you know, let's say 2, maybe even 3 minions on 6. Even something like Murgle, if you have those on 6, and then you all of a sudden make them all 3/3s, oh my god, that is amazing. Alright, so coming up next, we got Valinar, the legendary weapon for Paladin. Death Rattle, give a random minion in your hand 4 attack and 2 health, and with the Death Rattle, of re-equip this. Now that's actually a bit underrated, because it's not add it back to your hand, it's re-equip it, so you don't have to keep spending the 6 mana, so it's like you play it once, and your opponent either has to steal it, or they need to silence the minion that has it. But that's not always, you know, do you really want to waste a silence on, for example, like a Chillblade champion? I don't think so. But anyway, the card is still relatively garbage, like most Paladin legendaries are, so we're throwing it in C tier. Alright, so we got Congor's Endless Army. Resurrect 3 friendly mechs that have died this game. They keep all or any magnetic upgrades. This as a legendary is pretty good. It doesn't see any play. Maybe you could make it, like, just put it in Mecham Buff Paladin for whatever reason. And simply for that, because Mech Paladin is the top tier deck, we'll put it in B. In fact, it's better than these two, so we can actually put it in there, because, well, that's just what we're doing. Deal with it. Alright, back to Don Honcho. Battlecry, give a random minion in your hand 5/5. As I said last time, this guy is 7 mana 5/6. If he was like just 5 mana, I wouldn't even care if he was like a 0/2. Well, I mean, that would still suck. But still, if he was just lower the mana cost. Free Don Honcho from prison. Okay, Sergeant Sally, she fucking locked his ass up, and he just was never heard from again. Because he sucks. For Paladin, he's a little bit better in Hunter, but we're ranking Paladin this time. So we're putting him in F tier. Alright, next up we got Eretic the Pure. Battlecry, change all enemy...
Enemy spotted. Terrorists win.
Change all enemy minions attack to 1. This can be a really good, just kind of slow down. You know, you're basically casting Wave of Apathy, but that's a permanent effect. However, you do have to play it for 7 mana. But still, I mean, if he had Taunt, this guy would be great. But he's not. So we're throwing him in C tier. What a fucking surprise. Alright, so next up we got Lady Liadrin, Ashes of Outland Gal. Battlecry, add a copy of all spells you played this game, or cast onto friendly characters, or something or other. Now, people will put this into their Libram Paladins in Standard, and in Standard it's pretty good. But we're mostly talking about WoW since that's the game mode we play on the channel. This, you feel like you want to play it, but you really don't. Because if your hand gets full with Librams and they kill the minion, then they're all silenced. Or then your hand is full and you throw away something. If, yeah, I used the same joke twice. It's funny. Fuck you. They silence your minion, you've just lost all the Librams. In Wild, this just isn't that good. We'll put it above. You're a hero. You can be a hero card, so you can go at the top of the seat. Alright, we got probably my favorite Paladin legendary, Lanessa Sun Aurora with Kobolds and Catacombs. Battlecry, cast all spells you've cast on friendly characters, or on your minions rather, onto this minion. Oh my god, I'm throwing this in A tier. Simply because this is a must kill. Now unfortunately, it's stupid susceptible to single target removal. But still, the fact is that unless the death rattle, or unless this also gets silenced, you're still getting, most of the time, 2 2/6s with taunt. And this also has taunt. And if they have to use like a minion or something, like a Poisonous Resh minion for example, then they still have to waste another minion to break through the Divine Shield 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get. So it is a stupid good minion. Alright, so we got Zephyrus's #1 boy, Tyrion Fordring. Divine Shield and Taunt, Death Rattle, equip a 5/3 weapon. This again is A tier. It's just stupid solid. That's why Zephyrus will always offer it to you. Because it's got Taunt, it's got Divine Shields, it's a 6/6, and you also get something when it dies. That is why Zephyrus considers it the best minion from the classic set. Alright, so next up we got Ragnaros Light Lord, Live Insect. At the end of your turn, restore 8 health to a damaged character, or damage friendly character. This is an 8 mana 8/8 as well, however it can attack. But most of the time it's only going to get its effect off once, and if you have more than one damaged character it's not going to heal your face. This is really just a worse version of Libram of Hope. And it's a legendary. That can't be cost reduction, with the exception of like certain niche cards. So for that reason we're going to go ahead and throw it down in D tier. Alright, Turellian. He's got Rush, and anytime he attacks a minion, he sets its health and attack to 3, which basically makes it feel terrible to trade into anything that doesn't have 3 attack. For example, like a 2/9, for example. It might feel bad to trade Turellian. That's a bad example though, because like 9 health, like that's worth an extra damage on your Turellian. But anyway, his quote is rise to the challenge. Now the real challenge for the Hearthstone devs would be making not another C tier fucking Paladin legendary, because that's exactly where he fits in. We can put him near the top though. I mean, I like him. important character in World of Warcraft. But he's just not that good. If you get him off, like, duel, maybe, because then you're always guaranteed to kill, and then it can kill something else. But, like, that's just it. Alright, so we got the Death Knight Uther card. Uther of the Ebon Blade. 5 armor, 9 mana cost. Battlecry, equip a 5/3 lifesteal weapon. His hero power becomes summon a 2/2. If you summon 4 2/2s, you win the game. So it's an infinite damage win condition in Exodia. Now the issue is he only works in that deck. You never put him in any other deck unless you're trying to win via the hero power. I do think that if he was somewhere like 7 mana or even 8 mana, he would see play in other decks. But he doesn't. Like, this guy is 1 mana less than Blood Reaver Gul'dan, who's summoned all demons that have died this game. Well, I mean, obviously you can only summon up to 7. But, like, he should just not be... I would put him at 7 mana. But, nevertheless, again, he goes right above where we put Making Mummies, because though they're only both used in a very niche OTK Paladin deck. Alright, we got Nozari. 10 mana 4/12, Battlecry, restore both heroes to full health. This is basically a dragon that's just good to have in the game for Highlander decks, because when you discover Nozari, or get him randomly off Dragon Queen, most of the time you're pretty happy, because then you either just play it, and you're back at full health, so now you're saved. You play it, you get a tempo at an extra 4/12, or you get it and you just don't play it because your opponent's already dead. And hell, maybe the other dragon you got will help you with that. But Nozari isn't that good as a card, as a 10 mana card. However, he's good to have in the game. So are we putting him in C tier? I could honestly see putting him in C tier. And he would go like right where he is right now. I don't know. I'm not just doing this for jokes though. I truly believe that all of these Paladin legendaries are just middle of the road. Paladin doesn't really get its strength from its legendaries. You mostly only play the legendaries for the quotes, honestly. And then left off, we got Shyrvalla, the Tiger. Divine Shield, Rush, Lifesteal, 7/5, costs 25 mana, immediate F tier. You don't have 25 mana. You're never going to be able to play that. Alright, no, we'll actually put this at the top of B tier. Now, the issue is, it's -1 mana for all mana you spent on spells this game. So while people thought about putting this in Libram Paladin, because your Librams of Wisdom are 0 mana, they actually don't reduce the cost of this at all. You can use this in a very niche Holy Wrath Paladin, where you're then guaranteed to draw this, so then you deal 25 damage. But you have to have not drawn Shyrvalla, have a Lore Keeper Pull Kelp, and a Holy Wrath in hand. Now, yeah, you can put it back in the deck with something like the Banker Boy, but other than that, it's just a solid B tier. Alright, well, that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. See ya!